Rajasthan is the epicenter of India's child marriage. More than half of the girls born in this state become child brides before the age of 15.
The life of a child bride is very sad.
Prem Dabi is studying its impact on Indian society.
The moment she gets married, from a physical, mental, emotional and educational perspective, her life becomes very challenging.
Most of India's rural poor live on less than $1 a day, so marrying off a daughter means one less mouth to feed. Dinesh Soor is a village pastor.
Girls are seen as a liability and burden. The girl's family is responsible for paying the dowry, so the longer they wait to get the girl married off, the more they'll have to pay the future in-laws.
April and May are popular months for marriages in Rajasthan. Villages will hold thousands of ceremonies, the majority of them between minors.
Every year, you'll see the images of parents holding their children, sometimes as young as 4 or 5 years old, in their lap as they get married.
India first introduced laws against child marriage back in 1929, and back then the legal age for marriage was set at 12. It was eventually increased to 18 years old in 1978. To evade the law, families will often perform marriages in secret, usually late at night.
It's shortly after 9 o'clock in the evening. Very, very busy streets, as you can see. But where we're going is into the interior villages of this part of Rajasthan.
Outsiders are rarely allowed to attend these ceremonies, let alone film them. Rajma Patel's parents made an exception, giving us permission to film their son, but only the night before his wedding.
I am becoming a man tomorrow.
His parents insist that he's 21, but his friends told us off camera that he's only 10. His young face covered in traditional makeup, he wears a special suit with flashing colored lights.
I want the youngsters in my village to follow my example.
The whole village spends the night before the wedding, drinking and dancing.
Under the influence of alcohol, these dance rituals become sexually charged, and often you'll see young boys and girls joining in. It becomes a place to find potential child suitors.
Our team isn't allowed to film Patel's bride, who is said to be no more than 8 or 9 years old.
The parents always lie about the child's age. Families know what they are doing is not right, but because of culture and economic reasons, the parents will marry their children off at a young age.
CBN News is allowed, however, to film Veena Soor's wedding. Hers is different. It takes place during the day, which is very uncommon.
We've been preparing for this wedding for nearly a year.
Veena is trying to look her best as she prepares to teeter down the aisle of her house.
I've invited the entire village to come for this happy occasion.
But Veena is anything but happy. In between combing her hair and putting on jewelry, she sobs uncontrollably. The family tries to console her. We try to ask her why she's crying.
Why is she sad?
She refuses to talk.
She has no idea what it means to be a wife, how to take care of her family. But because this has been forced upon her, she has to go along with it. I think she's a little scared.
Veena's family insists their daughter is 18, but she looks 7 or 8.
I also got married when I was very young. She will adjust.
India is only one of many countries where child marriage is thriving. Each year, some 10 million girls are married before they turn 18. The practice is most common in Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia.
The girl is married, then moves in with her husband's family. She's not allowed to go to school to get an education. As soon as she reaches puberty, she's expected to have children.
And the ripple effects are devastating. Research shows that girl brides are more likely to die during pregnancy and childbirth, lose her child before it's born, be infected with HIV, have 3 or more births, and undergo multiple abortions. Back in the village, Veena's soon-to-be husband arrives in a bus with his side of the family. Wearing a special crown with flashing lights, he joins a procession of villagers making their way to the bride's home. His face is partially covered by a multicolored mask that he'll wear until the ceremony is over. He too looks very young, but his family insists he's above the legal age of marriage.
I am ready to be a husband.
Veena is finally ready to make her appearance, but instead of walking down the family courtyard where guests are awaiting her arrival, she has to be carried in by her father. Weak and exhausted, she is overcome with emotions. She sobs through the 2-hour ceremony.
It is heartbreaking to watch. These are children, little children, getting married.
George Thomas, CBN News, Rajasthan, India.